Good day, everyone. So, this is contemporary Philippine art from the regions. So, I decided to record our lesson that will be part of your fourth monthly test. Since I won't be able to meet some of the sections of grade 12. So, now let me present to you the objectives of our lesson. First, you are expected to identify the categories of art and the classification of art forms. Second, discuss the relevance of form in arts, and lastly, advertise the document pieces of art in your community, hometown, or your city. Okay, let's continue with the learning topics that we will cover in this lesson. So first, we have the categories of art, medium-based classification of art forms, classifications of Philippine art, and contemporary art and the information age. And now I have here some pictures, and all you have to do is to write down what kind of art you see on the screen and what it portrays. So again, what kind of art? Okay, let's have the first one. Second, last one. Okay, class, so make sure that you are writing down the answers. And now, let us move on to our discussion. So we have now the categories of art. If you will notice, we humans, create artworks where we can find the meaning of our lives. And these arts are the means by which humans are able to translate abstract thoughts, feelings, and experiences into something that we can hold onto. It's like turning it into physical form. And this ability to create sets us apart from other animals, right? And this is our driving fuel to make and take pleasure from art so that we could develop and improve ourselves. In this contemporary world, we are bombarded by images and visual objects. We can see it online, right? And then someone would post about a certain picture, a painting, different arts that we can see, okay? And then they surround us in art galleries, museums, and everywhere. We have their public and private places, also shopping malls, tourist districts, and cyberspace. And some forms are considered fine art, but others are called popular culture. And since you are Gen Z, I know you can relate from this that we're going to discuss about it throughout our lesson. And then crafts sometimes are distinguished from art and relegated as part of the long-standing tradition that we have. Okay, let us discuss about the first category of art. Okay, the first one is fine art. So we have here painting, sculpture, and architecture. So fine art is the Western category of refined objects considered to be among the supreme cultural achievements of the human civilization. And this is an art. I mean, a lot of people believe that it transcends average human works and may be produced by only the best artists with unique sensibilities and academic training. Since again, we are talking about sculpture, architecture, and painting. But in your case, since you are self-students, you can always develop or improve your abilities or your potentials. One definition of fine art is just it is displayed in art museums, performed in theaters, or screened in art house cinemas. So fine art includes painting, again, sculpture, architecture. I am continuously saying this word for you to remember this. And then here, it was heavily influenced by Greek, Roman, and Italian Renaissance art. With the emergence of new ideas and technology, at the beginning of 20th century. So there was a transition or a shift in the category of fine arts, and it has extended to include film, photography, prints, and most recently installation, performance, video, and digital art. So again, it has a lot of scope, not only in painting, sculpture, and architecture, because again, we are continuously improving our society, our world through technological advancement. And now let us have the second one. We have the popular art. Okay, look at the pictures that I have posted there. So we have their MacBook, Aquaflask, Bondi, your circle of friends. So I think a lot of you are using this. And again, popular art is the product of popular culture from the word itself. And it appeals to a broad of mass audience. So it is a category widely circulated in magazines, comics, television shows, advertising, tattoos, fashion, furniture, graffiti, street art, video games, posters, websites, calendars, greeting cards, dolls, souvenirs, toys, movies, pop songs, and snapshots, and commercial photography, etc. So art produced via popular culture is more, again, accessible, inexpensive, entertaining, commercial, political, colorful, colorful than the fine art. So this is, however, has given rise to the notion that popular art is lowly, or again what we call pangmasa. If you also remember the word bakya, and a lot of people would be considered as jologs. So a Filipino slang for a person with no class or someone who is crass and tacky. And class, remember that popular art reflects the values and structures of our social systems, hierarchies, and religious beliefs. So it can all be a great impact to every one of us. So it is also studied in many academic areas, including visual culture, art history, philosophy, and anthropology. So again, don't forget about the popular art. It is accessible, entertaining. It is again pang masa. Let us continue, and now we have craft. So when we say craft, it refers to the specific media including ceramic, glass, jewelry, weaving, and woodworking. So craft usually involves making objects rather than images. So you have there the output of something that you want to make. So although may involve surface decoration, so they also display aesthetic and conceptual dimensions that go beyond mundane use or ordinary use. And like the distinction between fine art and popular culture, the distinction between craft and art is culturally specific and ever changing, just like the definition of contemporary art. I mean, there is no formal definition or one definition, but again, it is continuously reinventing itself. Okay, don't forget about that. Again, class, what are the categories of art? So first, we have fine art. Next, we have popular art. And lastly, we have craft. Let us continue. So in terms of form and medium, we can classify contemporary art. So let's start with the first one. Visual art. So again, these are works created primarily for visual perception. Again, visual perception. So they are classified according to dimensions. So first we have two-dimensional art, which refers to any artwork depicted on a flat surface. So it can be paintings, sketches, mixed media, graphic arts, photographs, or prints. And then we have their three-dimensional art. So this is referring to a work that has volume and mass, such as sculpture, jewelry, furniture, monuments, and fashion design. Let us now have Architecture. So I think a lot of you are familiar with this, especially if you go to Manila or different locales here in the Philippines. So you can see a lot of buildings or infrastructure. So again, architecture refers to man-made environments created as a space for human habitation and as a setting for rituals. And architecture is more than just the art and science of erecting buildings, for it strives to create ideal environments for any human activity. Okay, together with its sub-disciplines such as interior design, landscape architecture, and urban design, this is collectively referred to as designed environment. So all of these practices manipulate and modify spaces to become meaningful and memorable places to inhabit. Okay, so for those who want to be an architect someday, so continue working on yourselves or with your potentials, okay? And now let us have music. Who is interested in music? Since again, we have different tastes, right? It can be indie, it can be popular song, folk song, indigenous, or contemporary. So music is sound and silence organized based on time. So the common elements of music are pitch, which governs melody and harmony, rhythm, and its associated concept of tempo, meter, and articulation. Also dynamics, the loudness and softness, and the sonic qualities of timbre and texture also refer to the color of musical sound. So we have here the formal level. Music may be folk, again, indigenous, popular, and conservatory. Okay, for those, who are inspired to compose a song, to write something, it's fine if at first you cannot, appreciate the words that you are writing, but just continue giving your best or pouring your heart into it, and one day you're gonna see it will be a great song that people would like. Okay, let us now have dance. So dance is an art form consisting of purposefully selected sequences of human movements. So this movement has aesthetic and symbolic value and is acknowledged as dance by performers and observers within a particular culture. And some of you can dance and some of you can sing. So I've seen a lot of you perform. Sorry, I've stalked some of you, who loves to dance, because actually, just to share with you, I really want to dance since again, wala ako sa timing, but I really enjoy watching someone to dance. Yeah, and again, it can be categorized and described by its choreography, and dance forms include ballet, folk, indigenous, street, modern, hip hop, or popular. It depends on your preferences. Okay. Let us now have theater. Are you familiar with this one with the picture that is presented on the screen? I think it is titled Huling El Mundo, and a lot of people love this because of the characters or because of the artist and the musical elements and how they act, right? It's somehow, it's based on real life experiences, and I would always, watch this if I would have some free time. Okay, so theater is collaborative form of art that uses live performers to present something about the human condition or an experience of a real or imagined event before a live audience is in a specific place, right? So the performers may communicate this experience through audience, through combinations. We have their gestures, acting, speech, song, music, and dance. So it may take the form of street or protest theater, school plays, ritual performance, sarsuela, puppetry, and stand-up comedy. So a lot of people, want to master these theater's abilities, right? So how we act, how we speak, on how we will connect with other people. And let us now have the next one. We have photography. So he is, I mean, who loves photography here in your class? So it can start maybe, for example, you just wake up and then you see the sunrise, you can take a picture of that. So any small things or mundane things that you can take a picture of, that can be considered as photography. And it is a technique of, again, capturing moments, images. And I think photography is about framing a scene, composition of lighting, and recording a special moment with the use of camera. Again, class, it doesn't matter what cell phone you are using or what camera you are using. It is about the angle, or it is about the subject that you want to have. So photography can be classified into fine arts photography, like photojournalism, commercial photography. And again, fine art photography imbues photos with artistic statements, while photojournalism is a documentary visual account of a specific subject. And commercial photography is focused on creating idealized images of products and services. And as people say, take pictures or it didn't happen. So it depends on you. Okay, let us have now cinema. So when we say cinema, it is aesthetic communication through the design of time and three-dimensional space into two-dimensional images with sound. It can be film and video that are essential to photograph shot and sequence to give the illusion of movement. So a film is a sequence of still photographs shot in rapid succession on strip of film. So when projected onto the screen, the progression of the still images gives an illusion of movement. And an older video recorded both image and sound on magnetic videotape, which was displayed on television monitors. Okay? Let us have broadcast and televisual. So we have here, again, distribution of audio or video content or other messages that is conveyed through electronic mass communication medium. So we have television, right? Radio or internet. So a video camera converts a moving image into electronic signals. And then the signals are transmitted to a monitor, which decodes them and reconstructs the image of display. And now we have digital art. It is a comprehensive term for any manifestation of art where a computer or digital technology has been utilized in its creation. So to be more precise, the artwork must be generated in digital form, which can be described as electronically combination of ones and zeros. So the root of digital art can be traced to mathematics and computer science, and is placed under the larger category of new media art. And I think some of my students are using digital art. And I'm also worried about this because, again, the world is continuously evolving, the technology that we have, our gadgets, and sometimes we forgot to appreciate the contemporary or traditional artists. So we must also be aware of its consequences, but we can also focus on the two without giving, menacing idea about these arts. Next, we have installation. So it is art piece usually of mixed media. So mixing of art materials and forms in creating an artwork. So it is organized for and placed in a specific space for a temporary period. So installation art is designed to transform the perception of a space as it occupies an entire room of outer space in which the spectator should walk through to engage fully with the work of art to create a unified experience in the given environment. So one example that I can give is, when you design the windows of your classroom, that can be considered an installation, and you also use recyclable material, right? Okay, class. Again, what are the medium-based classification of art forms? So first we have visual art, architecture, music, dance, theater, photography, cinema, broadcast, digital art, and installation. And now we're going to move on to contemporary art and the information age. So if you will know, there's a lot of changes that is happening around us. And in contemporary art, its modes of production were a product of a profound social change that happened in the 20th century, triggered by developments in communication technology. So we have there the emergence of radio, television, and the internet. And this is a social transition, which is also known as postmodern shift. It was ignited by a historical passage from industrial age. So we have there farming and manufacturing to the information age, which we have radical changes in communication and technology, and we have different ways on how we will receive and process information. So even today, we are experiencing information through electronic modes of communication. So we have different social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Gmail, and I think these information are available to great numbers of people. And I think the public impact of visually oriented media or the technology that we have is enormous, or it has a huge impact. Probably more information is now transmitted in this way than by printed word, altering the way we perceive art. And along with the high technology materials and digital techniques, the information age and cyberspace have contributed to a wealth of new visual art styles and forms, so many of which are conceptual and interactive. For example, in music and film, digital technology affected everything from the production of sound to its storage and distribution. As you are well aware, or if you are familiar with the different editing applications where you can, change your voice, excuse me, and then we can listen to music or watch movies on demand via our handheld devices like our iPad, cell phones, excuse me. And then the cell phone camera gives us power to frame reality and digital images. So it's like we are instant photographers and amateurs. And I think a lot of you can relate. Here, new forms of architecture also, are possible. So we have conventional drawing board and piece are visible today because of computer-based aided design, or CAD, and three-dimensional modeling software. The culture of the information age is image-oriented, and ideas are disseminated via screens, television, computer, cell phone, or tablet, and we will receive this as images or visuals or symbols. And as these information or visual information are manipulated and processed by dozens of electronic processes such as clipping, combining, filtering, distorting, mixing, and remixing. So electronic processing and the rapid spread of images via television and the internet have worked to blur the distinction between the different types of information in such a way that boundaries between popular culture and high culture are broken. So because of the overwhelming wealth of information of our generation, the idea of mixing and matching and techniques as much of has become commonplace. So the acquisition of familiar images from the past and their incorporation into new works with new meanings are only facets of our era known as postmodernism. And I think last, when we talk about the cyberspace or different editing applications, this is also a beach for us to know the history of our country or the arts that we had before, since we can restore everything right now. And I think, please remember that the term postmodernism, it first appeared in the reference to architecture, and postmodernism is an approach to art that incorporates traditional elements while maintaining some characteristics of contemporary art styles or movements. So, in a way, the postmodern is about nostalgia that engages the present, so a recollection of the past. And again, class, since ideas are disseminated by screen, television, or different digital or media, I think it has created works of art that are now new but strangely familiar, leading, plural, reflecting the diversity of temperament of contemporary life. And again, I think it is very important for us to always think of the past or the history of art, since it can help us to build a new identity, but again, without losing the value of who we really are as Filipinos. Okay, before I end this discussion, one question. Do you believe that technology will eventually replace humans? Okay, explain your answer in 5 sentences and I'll check it later. That will be all, class, and thank you for listening. Good luck to your fourth monthly test next week.